We are strong believers in the cinematic experience, and by that I mean people coming together who may not necessarily know each other and sitting in a darkened room and watching a flickering light up on the screen tell a story. I like to say that's, film actually goes back to the Neolithic times, because what were people in Neolithic times doing? I mean, they'd literally go into caves with torches and paint stories on the walls, and so you had a darkened enclosed space with a flickering light, and that, to me, it struck me that sounds like what a movie theater is inside the room. The difference between Cinema Detroit and a chain is we are not a chain theater. We're an independent art house theater, and what that means is that the curation is done right here in the city. We picked our own movies, and we're going to emphasize movies that are perhaps smaller. We like to say we show the best movies you've never heard of, but then also movies that are just from around the world, and just a kind of more eclectic mix of movies. We look for movies that aren't being shown anywhere else in Metro Detroit, or sometimes even in the state of Michigan, to make sure that everyone has access to the latest independent art house movies. We also look for movies from underrepresented voices. The reality is that if you look at the top 100 grossing films coming out of Hollywood, maybe 4% are from women directors. And so we're going to seek out movies by women directors, by filmmakers of color, by members of the LGBTQ community, and really amplify their voices and get their voices and their stories up on the screen. Well, we do try and do as many Q&As, talkbacks, sometimes little panels come in, and sometimes these are filmmakers. We do as much as we can bring in actual filmmakers so that people can talk directly and hear what they have to say about the process of making the film. Sometimes it will be just kind of more broadly. We showed a mainstream movie, Black Panther, but then we also brought in some local people to talk about Afrofuturism. And then we also showed, for example, Last Black Man in San Francisco. And we brought in some activists from the city of Detroit and talked about gentrification specifically in the city and how it might relate to it being portrayed in San Francisco in that movie. And so we just kind of try and relate the movies that we show to more kind of a local context and have local voices come in and talk. Besides Cinema Detroit, you have to go all the way out to Oakland County to see an independent movie or an art movie. And so we wanted a movie theater that was closer to the center of the city, closer, more accessible to the east side. So we want that experience to keep going, and so I guess our greatest hope would be that 100 years from now, Cinema Detroit is still showing movies in a darkened room with just the people from the community.